sunny day. It's a sunny day.
Welcome back to the Dead Dad Society. I am Mitch Garling. I am your host. Episode 5. Guys, what is going on? What is happening in the world? The coronas. It's taking over. It is next level now. People liked that I called it the coronas. Everyone loved it. And by everyone, I mean the 3 people that told me that they liked it, that I called it the coronas. So Alvin's here again. We are doing the distancing. We are, what are we, 2 meters apart?
2 meters.
2 meters, 2.5?
Yep.
Good on us. But no one else made it to the Dead Dad Society again. That is fine. I've just actually had like a whole packet of Oreos to myself. No one was here, but they shouldn't be here. Do you know what I mean? They need to be observing the rules. Stay home. Stop going to Bondi Beach. Stop going to everywhere. Stop going to IKEA. Can you still go to IKEA?
Actually, don't know.
I'd love to go to. I'd love the meatballs. Anyway, sorry, unrelated. Episode 5. We're back. Thanks for all the love on the other episodes. I appreciate it. Someone pointed out to me that in was either the 3rd or the 4th episode. I can't remember. They've just done so many episodes. I can't remember. But that I destroyed a copy of Paul Blart, but I actually only really destroyed the case, and they were unhappy that I didn't destroy the DVD itself. They were worried that it would come back to get me. So, is that better? I hope that's better for you. Did that work? I don't know. But we've done it. We've destroyed another copy of Paul Blart. I'll take it. Guys, there's something that I need to talk about first of all. That is that all the comedy festivals are done. All the comedy festivals are done. Supposed to be going down to Melbourne very soon, but that has been cancelled for 2020. So if people did buy tickets, there's going to be refunds available. Same with Sydney Comedy Festival, which was happening in April. That's done. And Newcastle Comedy Fest for May, that has been rescheduled to November, I believe. But yeah, everything's done. All life is cancelled. All comedy is cancelled. It's my whole life. Comedy's my whole life. It's cancelled. People are doing live stream videos and live chats on Instagram, and don't get me wrong, I love a good live video, but man, my Instagram is filling up at the moment with the amount of people doing live videos. My phone is going ballistic with the amount of notifications about people going live, and that's fine. I'll probably go live at some point too because I'm a sellout, but just calm down. Just calm down, everyone. It's doing my head in. But Alvin's here. As always, we love to chat. We love to chat Anna. We love to have an Anna chat. Ana de Armas, we had some horrendous news since the last episode.
Yeah.
Is that it is official. She is dating Ben Affleck. Whoa! Put the sold sign across her because she's off the market. That's sorry, I didn't mean to say that. That's she's a very lovely lady. We shouldn't treat her like property, but yeah, Ana de Armas off the market.
Yeah.
Not that either of us were attempting it, but she's off the market. She's with Batfleck.
Yeah, the Batfleck.
She's with the Batfleck, and I saw a Daily Mail article. They shared a very passionate kiss on the beach, and they were taking photos together. And oh man, that just seems like love to me. So, but yeah, Ana de Armas. Not much else to come up in the Ana de Armas chat. Bond is pushed back to November. That's if movies even exist after this. After the coronas wipe everything out. But yeah, she looks happy with Ben Affleck.
She does. Yeah.
And I'm happy for it. I am. Honest to God, I'm so happy for her. And that's good. But yeah, so everything...
I don't mind Ben.
You don't mind? A lot of people hate him for some reason, and I really don't get it.
Is it because he did Daredevil back in 2003, or...?
Maybe it is. Maybe it is because he did do Daredevil. I don't know. Was he blind in Daredevil?
Yeah.
He's blind. Was he blind the whole movie?
Yeah.
I feel like I need to watch Daredevil again. That is where he met Jennifer Garner, though, right?
That's right.
So, okay. All right. So he's probably glad he did Daredevil because that's where he met the mother of his children.
Exactly.
But as an overall, everyone's like angry. They're like, no, we wish that relationship didn't happen
Which one?
because of Daredevil.
Oh, yeah, right.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben Affleck. Everybody, he's a really good director. Like I really liked The Town, the movie he did, and Argo. Argo was really good, and yeah, he's real good. I was really keen to watch that one that he was in where he was like an alcoholic basketball coach.
The Way Back.
The Way Back.
I think that's what it's called.
But I believe that has been rushed to streaming services now that the cinemas are also no longer. But yeah, so that's good. We'll get on that. But oh man, so much stuff going on. I always love to chat my embarrassing moments on the pod. People seem to, whenever I like chop up clips and put them online, or whenever people tell me stuff, they seem to love the stuff where I get embarrassed, and which is nice. Man, I was thinking about like, because everybody's been sort of social distancing, we're not having parties, or you're not supposed to be having parties. Don't have parties, you're very bad. But we're not having parties, we're not having gatherings, we're not having this. And I was like literally sitting there the other day and I was thinking about like what was the best party that I ever went to. And there was a girl in my high school, and she used to have the best parties. Her dad was like really rich, and they had like the best house ever. And it had like all these like it had like a hectic pool with like a cave, and like you used to jump off like the top of this like bridge thing down into. And I know like there was like a little jetty, and you could swim under the jetty, and you could go in there. And I know of several people that had like sexual relations under that jetty, and I'm not allowed to tell anyone who did it, but I'm looking at you in your eyes in the camera, and I know that you know. Do you know what I mean? You know? But that was the best. She used to have the best house parties, but I was thinking about this one house party in particular. Oh no, it wasn't even a house party. It was actually a paddock party. It's for one of my dear friends. Her name's Barry. That's just her nickname. That's her surname. But she was turning 21. And she had like a family, like a big family property thing where they had a huge paddock and a big sort of undercover area. And they had this huge party, right? And it was the best. It was a fancy dress party. I went as, who did I go as? I went as Woody from Toy Story. Yeah, that was great. Anyway, I'll put up photos of that on some of the socials. That'll be a good laugh. But I went to this party, and like, throughout the night, like we were there probably all day, all afternoon, all night, and we're just having a hell of a time, and having a hoot, right? And it gets to the point where with most 21st it starts to get serious, right? And everyone came together. And she was dating at the time she was dating a close friend of mine, but you know, he didn't really like talking. And her parents both love a chat. They did a little speech, but it was actually quite a fabled speech. Her dad's speech. What he would do is literally every time he would say something, there would just be a group of about 5 or 10 guys that would just chant what he'd just said and just repeat it. So he'd be like, I remember we were at North Shore Hospital, and then like 10 drunk guys would be like, North Shore, North Shore, North Shore, and just celebrate North Shore. And then he'd be like, it was a crazy night. It was storming and there was lightning. And then 10 guys would be like, lightning, lightning. Anyway, unrelated to the story, but he does a speech, and then they're like, does anyone else want to do a speech? And this is, when you look back, like I was looking at my Facebook memories. I was looking at my Facebook memories the other day, and I was having a horrible realization of who I am and looking at memories. And I was thinking about this memory because it was like the one, like, you know when they say like on your deathbed, there's like memes that go around that are like, you on your deathbed, and it's like, oh, when I did that thing in 2004, and then you die, and it's the last thing you think of. I think this will be my thing. Like, I'll literally be on my deathbed, and it's not even that bad. It was just a weird, embarrassing moment where they were like, do a speech. And I got up and I was like, guys, like I was pretty, I was on the source, no, I don't even know why I did that, because I wasn't doing that, but I was on the source, on the one-handers. But I got up and I was like, guys, I'm going to keep it short. Just repeat after me. I was like, I love Barry because she's my best friend. And then everyone went to try and repeat what I said, but then I also tried to add to what I wanted them to chant. So then it was like, I love Barry because she's my best friend. And then everyone was like, well, and I was like, and she's, and it was just a clusterfuck. And it got to the point where there was like probably 70 or 80 people in this paddock. And this poor friend of mine, she's being, all the lights are being pointed at her, all the attention's at her. And then there's just a drunk Woody from Toy Story just standing on a table and I love her and she's my best friend. And there's 80 people just being like, what do you want us to say? And it just literally ended with me being like, don't worry about it. And then I just got down. And then I just went to my car and sat in my car and was like, what was that? What the hell? And then everyone was like, whoa, you're pretty. And I was like, I know. And then the next day, we all woke up in the paddock party, after the paddock party, and one of my other friends who had really only just joined the group, he didn't come to the party because he was, I believe that he was a dog, right? That's why he didn't come to the party, because he was a dog. And he messaged us and he was like, guys, I want to make up for it. I'm really sorry I didn't come to the paddock party. And we were like, how are you going to make up for it? And then he was like, I'll bring a 21-piece bucket over of KFC, original recipe OR, right? I know the lingo OR because I used to work at KFC. You guys probably could have figured that out though, because I did actually say the words original recipe before. Anyway, but original recipe OR, 21-piece bucket. He comes over, he gives it to us. The aircon's broken in our house, so we're all sitting there. We've got our feet in buckets of ice. We have 21 pieces of chicken between a bunch of us. And look, I think collectively, not that my mate who wasn't there because he was a dog would know, but I think collectively we just looked each other in the face and we were like, we're never going to talk about that. I'm glad we didn't. And I'm glad I've spoken about it now. And hopefully she brings it up with me, or her ex-boyfriend at the time brings it up with me, because that'll be literally, I'll be on my deathbed. It'll be like my family, like I've got, who knows what my family's like at that point. I'll be on to the second wife, third wife, who knows, lucky. But let's say I'm there. Let's say I go soon. Let's say the coronas strikes me down very soon, which I've just jinxed. I've 100% jinxed it. I'm going to get the coronas now. But let's say soon the corona strikes me down and I'm on my deathbed. And they're like, I'm just laying there, and just before I go, they're like, is there anything you regret? And I'm like, I love her because she's my best friend. And I'd probably get her to come into the hospital, and then I could do my speech again properly. I'd be like, I love you because you're my best friend, and you're one of the cool. It's not a chant at this point. It's just a nice speech. And plus, even if I do mess it up, everyone will cut me slack because I have the coronas. So that's good. Yeah, man. Such an embarrassing, I will think about that all the time. It actually kills me. But yeah, her and I had a really weird relationship there for a while, because she never actually, something happened between her and I that she never forgave me for. And I'll set the scene right, where there's a bunch of us, there's a big bunch of us, probably 7 or 8 of us, going up to the Gold Coast for a Bucks weekend. And she was coming with us on the Bucks weekend. She's just one of the guys kind of thing. And she's coming with us on this Bucks weekend. And we're all at the airport, we're all waiting to go. And we all went around to our respective, it was an early flight, so we went to get breakfast. Someone went to McDonald's, someone went to just get a toasty from somewhere. It cost them $74 or something because it's the airport. But I went to Subway, and there was a Subway right in the city that I used to love getting breakfast from. I used to get it all the time when I worked in the city. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to get Subway breakfast. I haven't had it for a while, but that'll be sick. So I get this Subway breakfast, foot-long bacon and egg, extra pepper, Old English cheese, white bread, or Italian herb and cheese, depending how you feel. I get it back, I unwrap it, and I go like this. I take it up to my mouth, and as it hits about here, I go, something smells funny. I can smell something really gross. But I was like, well, it's obviously not this sandwich, because this sandwich has never burnt me before. So I've got it here. Let's take a huge bite of this sandwich. So straight into it. I put the sandwich down. I'm chewing, and straight away I go, I can taste fish. I can taste fish. And it was a bacon and egg sandwich. So there's no fish inside. No fish inside. And yeah, no fish. So I take a bite, and I'm just sitting there. I put the sandwich back down. I'm sitting there, I've got this in my mouth. And as I go to swallow it, my body just kicked in. My body was like, nah, I don't want this in me. And I just threw up on the table of the food court of the airport, all over my breakfast. And my friend was sitting across from me, her boyfriend, one of the other guys going on the Bucks, and she was just like, what the fuck? What the hell? And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, it tasted like fish. It's supposed to be only eggs. It's an egg and bacon sandwich, but it tasted like fish. You can understand why I needed it to not be inside of myself. And I threw up. I literally threw up on this table. And like, she was like, no, I'm done. Like, she didn't have her breakfast. No one else had it. And then I was like, oh, why is it like, what's going on? And then so I packed up like this vomit sandwich, and I went back to Subway, and I was like, hey, I just had a bite of this and it made me throw up. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, this sandwich, which is seems to be supposed to be a pretty straightforward egg and bacon combination, which I've had plenty of times in my life, seems to have some sort of fish in it. She's like, it doesn't have fish in it. And I was like, did you maybe perhaps prepare my sandwich with like some cutlery or something that maybe you used to cut up some fish? And she's like, we don't really cut up fish. And I was like, okay, well, maybe it's just the eggs or something, but this is disgusting and made me throw up. And she's like, I'm so sorry. And she gave me a refund. She actually tried to make me another one first, and I was like, no, I've learned my mistake. To the point where that was in 2011. I think that was in 2011. And I had Subway breakfast again for the first time this year. It must have been 2019, last year. Was the first time I had it again. And even then, the whole time I was having it, I was like, oh, remember that fish? Remember when you had it and it tasted like fish? That was disgusting. And yeah, we never really moved past that, my friend and I. Like, we went to the Bucks weekend, and like, we'd just be on the Bucks weekend and we'd be all having dinner, and you could just see in her eyes, she was like, he's going to throw up on me. He's going to throw up on us again. Look at him. Every time I'd order something, he'd be like, you sure it's not fishy? Not going to be too fishy? Yeah, it was a good Bucks weekend. But yeah, we never really moved past that. So I think in terms of our relationship, the Subway, vomiting Subway pretty much on her, and then, but I love you, you're my best friend, doing a speech. Man, we've got a fun relationship. She's the best part. Our relationship's fine. Her mum is super Scottish and reminds me of Billy Connolly, but a lady. She's like, oh, I went for a walk down by the loch. And you're like, what? That's not even a word. But yeah, reminds me of Billy Connolly a lot. Oh man, Billy Connolly. Oh man,
ING Direct, I think.
he was ING Direct. He was for. Oh, maybe I should tell I'm going to tell my Billy Connolly vomiting story too. Man, I vomit a lot. It turns out I've got a real problem. No, yeah. So a couple of years ago, after Billy Connolly got diagnosed with like Parkinson's disease, he announced he was doing like one last tour kind of thing, and this is when my dad was still alive. He was like, "Oh, I'd love to go," So Mum and I bought tickets to go and see him. Went to, I think it was Newcastle Entertainment Centre. So it was actually way cheaper to buy tickets for Newcastle Entertainment Centre than it was for the Opera House. So we went to Newcastle Entertainment Centre. The tickets were like $180, $190 each, something like that. And Mum was like, oh, we'll just put it on the credit card, whatever, it's a treat. You, me, Dad. So we went, and to set the story right, so the show was on a Sunday. The show was on a Sunday night. And I was living down in, I was in Hornsby. I grew up on the Central Coast. My parents were on the Central Coast. But I was living in Hornsby. And after work one day, I went to a establishment. I won't name it, but they had crab claws. You could get crab claws, like $2, $2.50 each, whatever. I didn't come here to discuss price, but $2 each, $2.50 each, whatever. These crab claws, I had them, delicious crab claws, and then a couple of hours later, I was like, oh, I don't feel too good, and I started to feel a little bit under the weather, but I was like, I'll be right. Next morning, I wake up violently just throwing up. And I was like, oh no, like this is the crab claws. I've got some horrible food poisoning. I like spend the whole day around the toilet. I spend the whole day on the lounge throwing up, whatever. And I've got to go to Billy Connolly that night. I've got to drive to Newcastle to go to Billy Connolly with my mum and dad. And so I drive from Hornsby to my parents' place on the Central Coast. And my dad's like, can you drive? I was like, no, I cannot. I cannot drive. So I sat in the back of, I think they had the Kia. They're pretty rich, but sat in the back of the Kia. Mum and Dad drove. I'm in the back just hating life. Every 20 minutes, I'm like, can you pull over? Like driving up the freeways, like, can you pull over? And then I just get out and throw up. We get to the Newcastle Entertainment Centre, and my parents are like, love to be on time, love to get there early. My dad was a worrier, like wanted to get there early always, wanted to make sure things, went to plan. And the show doesn't start till 8 o'clock, 7:30. Doors are at 6, and we're at the entertainment centre at 5 o'clock. And I was like, oh my God, like, what am I going to do for an hour until doors open? I just went for a walk. I'm walking around trying to get fresh air. Eventually I start to be like, oh, I'm going to throw up again. And outside of the Newcastle Entertainment Centre, there was one portaloo. So I'm in there, throwing up constantly. And then I've got people lining up trying to come in. So, I'm doing like this switcheroo every couple of minutes. I go in, throw up, then someone goes in and they go to the toilet. And then I go in and throw up again. Eventually, after a while, I was just throwing up in a garden outside of Newcastle Entertainment Centre. I was throwing up. And my dad, bless his heart, was like, mate, lemonade always works. Honestly, it always works, especially flat lemonade. And like growing up, I always had like a lemonade ice block if I felt sick. That was like a good way of getting stuff in, like getting fluids in. But having flat lemonade, I was like, oh, I've never heard that. But anyway, he went to the Newcastle Entertainment Centre store, bought me a can of lemonade, and then I could see him walking back to me. He's like shaking it as he gets back to me, and I was like, all right, like, here we go. Anyway, so he does that, he shakes it, eventually opens it, it's all good, and I'm having this lemonade, and then it just goes absolutely hell for leather, just insane projectile vomiting. And I was like my mum and dad are both like, do you still want to go to the show? And I was like, no, it's fine. It's Billy Connolly, it's probably his last time here. He's very sick himself. He may not be back, and it's your birthday present, Dad. And no, it's very expensive tickets, and we should go. And then, like, I was like, oh, I'll even go sit in the car. Like, you guys go, I'll just wait. Anyway, it got to the point where just before the show started, I started to feel really good, and so I was like, all right, I'm gonna push this. We went in. The show starts. Billy Connolly does like 2.5 hours, something like that, 2.5 hours on stage. And every 30 minutes, I would have to leave to go to the bathroom to throw up for like 10 minutes. And then I'd come back for half an hour and then go and throw up for 10 minutes. and then come back. And like I did miss a lot of the show. I could hear it. Like I was just in the bathroom and I'd be like, like just I could hear it. But there was a very drunk lady there that day. And she, like, was like, the aisle seat was like my mum, my dad, me. And then I just felt this like random thing on my leg and my dad he goes, oh. And then we like looked under our seat and the lady that was sitting behind us had like climbed under our seat and was trying to snake her way along the whole row rather than like just climbing it. It was the weirdest thing in the world, but strangest lady. But I remember that very vividly. But yeah, so just spent upwards like 50% of my time watching Billy Connolly for the last time. Just spent it in the bathroom, like throwing up, hating life, hugging a toilet in the Newcastle Entertainment Centre. What a memory. And Billy's not too well. And, you know, if something was to happen to him very soon, I'd be very sad that the last time, or the first time I ever saw him, but the last time I ever got to see him, I spent it hugging a toilet. It's very sad. Oh, man. That's good. That came out of nowhere, that Billy Connolly story. It's just because I said that my friend's mum is Scottish. And it made me think of Billy Connolly. Man, what a time. What a guy. Yeah. Ugh. I did destroy that Paul Blart, though. I killed it. Absolutely killed it. Oh, man. This guy... Yesterday afternoon, I'm walking through this shopping centre and this guy... Yeah. Was it yesterday? I can't remember. I feel like I'm having a stroke. Anyway, yesterday afternoon, I'm walking... It's a Caranas. It's good. I did an accent there. I didn't even mean to. It's a Caranas. But I won't do that again. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, yesterday afternoon, I'm walking through a shopping centre and I can see this, like, you know, the charity guys that are like, hey, what's going on? Do you like elephants? And you're like, I do. I love them. Here's $1. Go away. But I'm walking through and I'm about to walk past like a fountain area. And this guy, he goes, hey, how are you? And I was like, hey. And then he had AirPods in. Like, he had AirPods in both ears. And, like, he walked up to me and tried to have a full-on conversation with me about, it was either World Vision, something like that, but still left the AirPods in. And I don't know why, but it infuriated me to no end. Like, if you're going to... You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to take the time to come and talk to me, like, if you want me to come and listen to your spiel about World Vision or the elephants or whatever, have the respect and decency to take your AirPods out. I don't even care if the music's paused. Like, take them out. It's like, it's not like you had a Bluetooth earpiece in and you're like, I'm expecting a very important business call. It's like, you can barely hear what I'm saying in response to you. Probably because you're like listening to Joe Rogan podcast or something in your ear while you try and talk to me about, you know, the world. But it was like, give me the respect. Those charity guys are so insane though. Like, when I was on the Central Coast when I was growing up this one time, it was only about 5 years ago or something, I was just walking, and as I went to walk into the Coles, they had someone like kind of not blocking the, like, he wasn't like, you're not coming into Coles until you listen to me talk about all the children. But he was like, he literally just goes, can I ask you a question? And I was like, yes. This is how he opened. Like, I'm not even word of a lie. I can't remember who I was with, but I'm going to remember, and then I'm going to ask them to back up this story. We're about to walk into Coles, and just out of nowhere, this guy's, can I ask you a question? And we were like, yeah. And he goes, do you like sexual assault? And we were like, what? And he's like, do you know how many children are sexually assaulted around the world in third world countries? And we were like, no, we don't. We're just trying to go to Coles. I'm just like, this could be a real first world problem. I'm trying to get into Coles. And And it's, yeah, obviously horrible, horrible things. But don't yell it at me. Don't yell it at me across like the entry to a Coles. So there's an old lady just trying to enjoy her life, and then she just hears that. Like, what kind of... Just an absolute psychopath to yell that out.
Do you like sexual assault?
Do you like it? Do you like it? Like, not have you heard about it, or have you heard about the rates of it, but do you like it? Like it's a hobby. It blew my mind. Like, it's all about the phrasing, bro. Like, of course, it's a horrible thing, and it's a horrible thing that's happening. There's horrible things happening all around the world, and I'd love to help everybody that I can. My wife and I have specific charities that we donate to, as I'm sure a lot of people do. But now that charity is off the table for me because you yelled at me at a Coles. And you didn't even yell at me. You didn't go like, hey, like, can I talk to you about something? Or, hey, like, have you heard how there's no elephants anymore? Or something like that. But you yelled, do you like sexual assault? Do you like it? Anyway, just a nutcase. Just a nutcase. I was watching the TV this afternoon, and they had an ad for McDonald's where it was a young dad, and the young dad was driving. He did like 4 laps of the drive-through one, because his baby was asleep in the back of the car. So he like does a lap, and he goes like, oh, large cappuccino, please. And then does a lap, and then comes and then pays for it, and then does a lap again, and then picks it up, and he's like, oh, thank you. And then like the baby's asleep, and it's like, oh, he did it. And it got me thinking about the biggest power move that I've ever pulled in my whole life. So when my baby was quite young, she had a lot of trouble sleeping. Didn't want to sleep on me. So when my wife would go to work or go to uni, she didn't want to sleep on me. So what I would do is I would just put her in the car, and then I'd go for a drive for a little bit, and she'd fall straight to sleep. It was the best. But this one day, I'm trying to get her to go to sleep. She's just really not into it, not going for it. And eventually, after a while, I have what did I have? I had All That Jazz from the Chicago soundtrack. Loves it. I put that on. She's absolutely loving life. Then eventually she falls asleep. So I'm driving around, and as I come around this corner, I just see an RBT, and I was like, oh my God, this guy is going to pull me over. He's going to wake the baby up. So what I did was, as I pulled up, the guy was like, get up. And I was like, shh. I was like, but the baby's asleep. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. I go, can you just whisper? And he's like, yeah. And then to his credit, this cop, he goes, just count 1 to 10. And he held it there. And I went like, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, even better, he goes, have you had anything to drink? And I was like, no. And he's like, okay. He checks my license. And then he's like, you're all good. Good luck. And I drove away, and I was like, what respect for that cop. Like, he helped me out. Like, he could have easily been a dick and been like, no, I'm not being quiet. Count 1 to 10. Have you had anything to drink? Baby wakes up. She goes bananas. I hate him. I hate authority now, forever. But he was cool. I was like, he is 100% a new dad, or a recent new dad, or he's just a cool dude. But
can you imagine if he was tested positive?
What if it, tested positive?
Imagine that.
Tested positive. I'm like, oh, let me off. The baby's asleep. Yeah, I had a drink to celebrate that she went to sleep. Let me off, bro.
You think he would like...
Yeah. Whoa, man, you are so drunk. Have you been drinking? Step out of the car. I'm like, I can't step out of the car because she'll hear the door. And he's like, that's fair enough. He's like, climb out the window. And he makes me climb out the window. I basically just get arrested and just leave the baby on the side of the road. I message my wife and I go, hey, first of all, you need to go get the baby. Second of all, I'm doing 25 to life. Not really. You'd probably get in trouble. But if I was drinking with the baby in the car.
That would have been a good segment on like, you know, the RBT like shows on like Channel 9.
Oh my God, that would have been the best on ABT. Yes, yeah, like the RBT cop, and it's like, yeah, I'm trying to think of the voice. How's the voice like? Mitch claims he's just been home by himself, but he's just blown 3 times the legal limit and gone for a joyride with his baby. The baby's asleep, and he doesn't want Officer Fuck Knuckle to wake him up, and it just cuts to him being like, count to 1 to 10, 1 to 10. Man, I'm sorry I called you Officer Fuck Knuckle there too in that RBT act out. You're a really cool officer. Man, that would be so good, actually. The RBT. And it's like in a follow-up segment being like, where it ends with like, and we know that Mitch is going to have a hard time when he gets home. And then it cuts to like me walking out of the police station with my wife standing behind me, like yelling at me in the car, being like, you're an idiot. And I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm an idiot. I'm so sorry. Can we go home? I'm so sad. Can we get some dinner? That's what yum.
Just go through the Macca's drive-thru again.
You go through Macca's drive, but just once. Just once. The baby's not even there. The baby's probably in some sort of looked after like state services at that point because the dad just got pulled over for drinking. Man, that's crazy. But yeah, cool dude, cool cop. I appreciate you. Cops get a bad rap, but you're a cool guy. Some cops are assholes. Some cops are cool. You're a cool guy. Cops are tops. Remember those stickers? How good. Anyway, sorry. Sometimes I think I have like an ADHD sort of thing where I just go like, blah. Remember those stickers? I love stickers. How good are they? Man, this when I was younger, I used to work at a bakery when I was younger, and at the end of every shift, I used to get like all the leftover bakery goods, and I'd like take it to school and like give it to my friends or like sell it to people that I didn't like. But one of the things is what I did is there was a girl there who was a couple of years older than me, and she was over 18, and I was probably only 15 at the time. But I like this is related to drinking, is that I wanted to get some drinks, and I wanted her to get me some drinks. And first of all, I didn't know what to get. Second of all, I didn't know where I would put it. But one afternoon, I'm driving around with my dad, and we see a council cleanup, and there's like a big bunch of like surround sound speakers on the side of the road at this council cleanup. I was like, oh, Dad, can we get them? And we'll see if they work. He's like, yeah, mate, no worries. So we pull over, put them in the car, whatever. Take them home, try them. They don't work. But what I did is I popped the cover off one of the speakers, pulled all the speaker parts out, and then I cut the wood of the speaker to reveal like a huge hole. And then I built a little shelf just on the inside of the speaker. And I would hide all my alcohol and all my contraband inside of that speaker, and I would pop the cover back on. So I remember getting this girl who was a couple of years older than me to buy me alcohol, and she's like, what do you want? And I was like, oh, just like Jim Beam. Didn't know what Jim Beam was. At that point, I think I had like 3 Tui's new at like a New Year's Eve party when I was like 14, 15, because my cousin was like, you can have a new every time you do some sit-ups. And I was like, oh, a weird way to fat shame me, but okay. And I had them. They were delicious. But also 3 Tui's new at 15 years old, and you can have more Tui's new if you do more sit-ups. Recipe for disaster. Probably another situation of me vomiting there. I vomit a lot, apparently. But yeah, so I get this girl to get me, she's like, oh, do you want some Jim Beam? What kind do you want? I was like, I know. She goes, oh, do you want like white or black? And I was like, oh, black? Not knowing that black is like double strength, whatever percentage, I can't remember, but it's like, at that time, not a bad price, but it was like 4 of them for $18. And I gave her a $20 note. She was like, got them for me. Anyway, so one night I have one and I'm like, whoa, like funky. Like, what's going on? This is crazy. Another night, my mate comes over. Oh, yeah, like, we have one. You know, this is crazy. I put one in a cup, and I put the rest of the can back into the speaker to have later, and I forgot about it. And then one day I'm sitting there with my dad, and we're either playing PlayStation or watching something in my room, and he's just like, what's that smell? I was like, I don't know. And he's like, it smells like whiskey or something, or bourbon. And I was like, oh, I don't know. He's like, it's coming from the speaker. And I was like, that's so weird. Anyway, so then he like picks up, so he gets the speaker and he pulls it forward thinking that like maybe it's something behind it. And then in that moment, literally everything fell forward and pushed the cover of the speaker off, which included the leftover of a 4-pack of double strength Jim Beam Blacks and one half empty can, which was obviously where the smells were ruminating for. Is that the word, ruminating? But I don't even know. But where the smell was coming from, and just literally just looks down, and there's just bourbon all over the floor. And there's cans and like a 4-pack container, and there's like a hollowed out speaker. And like he looked at me and was like, just go and get some paper towel. And I went and cleaned it up. He got rid of all the bourbon, he chucked it out. And I don't really think that he was particularly mad about the bourbon or the underage drinking. I just think he was pretty, like, my dad's a carpenter. Like, I think he was pretty pissed at my shoddy workmanship of my crappy little shelf in my cutout speaker that was hollowed out. I think he was impressed at my genius, but also not. It's very sad. Poor dad. He was so sad.
He didn't question it.
He didn't question it at all. That's what I mean. Like, credit to him. He didn't question it. He got rid of it. Like, literally chucked it out. I got paper towel. He went and got like not Glen 20. He went and got like spray and wipe. We sprayed the floor. And then the speaker sat in my room. I actually kept stuff in the speaker like properly. And he would check it randomly and be like, what do you got in here? And I'm like, oh, it's just a pocket knife and like this sort of crap. But never hid stuff in there again. But man, for a while there, I felt like a real badass. I had like it's like you see in movies where people have like a panic room or like a, what's it called? Like an escape hole kind of thing. Not an escape hole, like a crawl space. A crawl space. Escape hole. A crawl space where like people can hide, like if people are going to come in and arrest them or whatever. It's like I felt like I had that, but it was just hiding a 4-pack of Jim Beam Blacks. But, man. That's a good story to end on, I reckon.
Just dad things, huh?
Dad things. I didn't even mean to speak about dad things. Did I speak about dad much? It was just that last story, wasn't it?
No, I think you spoke about your Billy Connolly.
Oh yeah, Dad was at Billy Connolly. Man, maybe we are talking about dad stuff in the Dead Dad Society. I haven't actually really ever spoken about dad too much in the Dead Dad Society. Anyway, people need to come on. I'm getting too serious. Please help. No, not really. But yeah, thanks for watching. Again, thanks for listening. We destroyed another copy of Paul Blart. If you have anything you want me to talk about, or if you know me and know any stories or want to ask me stuff, deaddadsociety@gmail.com. Send me stuff. A few people have like tagged me in Paul Blart memes, and look, I do love it, but also hate it at the same time. Like, I want to forget that it exists, but thank you for spreading the love. I love you. I love you. I said it. Anyway, but yeah, thanks for checking out episode 5. And yeah, Alvin, in summary, anything we want to talk about?
No.
I like to check in with you. I do like to check in, just in case anything's going on with you. But yeah.
Nothing next week.
Nothing's happening. The coronas. Stay isolated, man. Catch up on Netflix. Watch Tiger King on Netflix. On Netflix. I cannot talk. Netflix. On Netflix, watch Tiger King. Comedy festivals are all cancelled. Email me, deaddadsociety@gmail.com. And, yeah. Bye.
Everybody's coming now.